All right, Numbers 13, let's call this one We Are Not Able, because that comes straight out of verse number 31 of the chapter, in which God is instructing the people to send the spies out into the promised land to bring a report back to the nation about what lies ahead. And as I listened to some other insights this week, I realized it was not necessarily on God's initiative, but Deuteronomy 1 is going to suggest that it is at the people's request that they get an advanced guard to tell them what it's going to look like, even though God's already promised the land to them. But either way, verse 31 is going to say, then the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we are. And they are exactly right, even though to this point they've shown a tendency to exaggerate and spin the truth whenever it suits them. They're not exaggerating. The Anakim are reputed as being giants, and more importantly, in spite of all that God has told them about the Canaanites, he didn't tell them that they're going to take the land because the Canaanites and the Amalekites weren't tough. They were. And we're going to find out, because after they reject God's counsel to move forward anyway, they're going to have second thoughts once they find out that this was their last chance to get in the promised land, and they're going to go try to take it anyway, and they're going to lose badly. It's because the people really were too big, and some of them were just too tough. And ultimately, what they were losing out on is something that I try to look at these stories to counsel myself on repeatedly, not just, like we say, pointing fingers at all these losers who disobeyed God and blah, 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 but understanding the way in which they are facing challenges that would challenge me and possibly cause me to fail just as much as well. And so ultimately what I see here are two things that I struggle with, and that is, from time to time, not being prepared to advance when I really am overmatched. So there are times when it's easy for me to want to move forward in faith or courage when I read something in the Word, and I look at the adversary of the challenge, and I see that as something that I can take care of. Or there are times when I can get myself motivated to move forward, and times when I know I'm overmatched, but I'm still ready to go based on faith, until I actually see the adversary and I realize they were way bigger than I thought they might be. See, the value in books like The Art of War is that it teaches us to be able to advance not only in favorable circumstances. You don't need a book if all you got are advantages on a battlefield in life, or an actual battlefield. But books like Art of War are key because they help you to understand how to overcome even when you're at a disadvantage. Likewise, God is helping you to understand that he can put situations and people in places that can help defy what you see in front of you. But beyond the fear of losing, sometimes I can have the fear of trying for fear of failure. And there are times when the fear of failure is masking this thing that on the other end, I probably need to be more afraid of. And that is, what happens if I am actually successful? See, sometimes when I'm afraid to even try, it's because I'm afraid to flat out look bad. And if I'm afraid to look bad, sometimes I haven't adequately taken into consideration what my motives really are. And there are times when I'm placing too much emphasis on how I will perform because I haven't placed enough emphasis on the fact that many situations, as we said, that I'm destined to succeed in are bigger than me. And I'm not placing enough emphasis on the team that God has put around me, the circumstances that he's aligning in my favor, and all the things that he's doing to help me win. And so when I'm placing too much emphasis on how I might perform, I'm placing too little emphasis on all the people who deserve credit on the back end if I actually win. And so the second danger is in winning. When God delivers me, if I have paid too little attention to all the things that have to line up in my favor, then I'm tempted to give myself too much credit on the back end. And so therefore we have a twofold dilemma in this circumstance. There are times when I haven't matured enough to understand times when I am perfectly capable of succeeding, even when I'm at a disadvantage. But more importantly, there are times when I am disadvantaged by winning because I haven't properly considered all the things beyond me that are necessary for me to win, whether I've got a tactical advantage or not. God willing, we will be equipped both to overcome situations in which we have a tactical disadvantage and to have the proper perspective in victory, understanding how little of us actually goes into our winning. It's best to you as you go forward in him, though.